on today, YouTube? Today we're test riding an FJR1300. Why are we test riding an FJR? Because we can. It's my buddy's bike. I borrowed it for the day because I'm on the way to Port Dover, Ontario. Port Dover is a place where motorcyclists gather every Friday the 13th. Rain, shine, snow, doesn't matter. And when I say motorcyclists, I mean we're in the thousands of motorcyclists. Thousands. It is a town not equipped to have that many people around. The cell towers fill up really quickly. I'm gonna check that out, people. I'm sure y'all will know about that. So yeah, anyway, the cell towers in Port Dover fill up very quickly. You can't even send a text message. It's a lot of, there's so many people. You'll see when we get there. We're doubling up on today's video log, kind of. I'm doubling up on it. You guys will have to check out two different videos. If you're here to see the FJR, then we're gonna do a review on it. If you're here for Port Dover, switch over to my other video. Anyway, okay, so FJR, where should we start? Well, I just showed you power windscreen, up, down, yay. It's pretty handy. Plus a pro. It actually blocks a lot of wind. When I got it all the way up, and if you can feel or see my hand, the wind is hitting my hand right about there, which is over my head. So like there is no wind on my face at all. That blocks a good chunk of the wind. Makes the bike, or the ride I should say, not the bike, makes the ride somewhat enjoyable. I'm gonna say somewhat, because right now I am sweating my testicles off. It's freaking hot, man. It's not even a hot day. It's I'd say 26 degrees Celsius. But another reason why I'm hot is because this engine, oh man, there is so much heat coming from that engine into my crotch area. Like the inside of my legs are just hot, sweaty. That might be an enjoyable experience on a really cold day, but on a day like today, it's making the ride suck. And I'm not getting any breeze on me at all because of this large windscreen. Even if I put the windscreen all the way down, now I'm getting the wind hitting me in about the chin, right about the chin level. So still barely any on my chest. The hands don't get hardly any wind when they're on the bars. Legs, same, no wind. So yeah, the majority of it's like in the head area. But I do have to say, I've been on a lot of bikes with windscreens, and I find a lot of time that your head gets buffered around from the wind. Not the case with this one. The wind is hitting me right directly in the helmet, but it's not buffing my head around at all. So that's definitely a pro. Look, this 1300cc engine, we can talk about that. It makes a decent amount of power. I can't say the specific numbers. I want to say it's probably 150, but don't quote me. Definitely don't quote me on that. I never looked it up. It's a 13 whatever, close to 1300cc. I also didn't look up that number. I'm not here to spit numbers at you. I'm here to basically, if you are looking at buying an FJR, this would be a decent video to watch, because like it's an old bike. This bike is a 2003, which is at this point 15 years old. I don't know if you can see that. It says 127,000 plus kilometers, and this bike runs tip-top, like no issue with it. Like transmission smish, words don't work. The transmission shifts very smoothly. It's a very like tactile transmission. Like, you can really feel it change gears. It is a 5-speed transmission. The engine, yeah, like, I'd say even down around like 2,000 RPM, there's a decent amount of power there. Like, it's you don't have to make the engine work. Like, you could seriously cruise on this bike at 100 plus kilometers an hour, no problem. Like, you hit the freeway, you could even like cruise at 140, and that bike's not even going to blink. It's just going to cruise and push that wind, no problem. Yeah, I kind of like, back to the transmission. Like I was saying, it's very tactile. Like, when you click it, you feel it go clunk, and you know you've changed that gear, which some people might like, some people might not. I guess that's personal preference. Some people like a nice smooth shifting. It depends, I guess. I like the in-between, where it's like you can feel it click, so you know that it changed, but yet it's not like clunk, not like a big clunk, like the drop of a hammer kind of thing. This one's kind of on the borderline of being that clunk as you shift, which, I don't know, like I said, not necessarily, it's not a deal breaker, it's not a bad thing. You know it's shifted gears, right? It's transmission in this thing, 127,000 kilometers. Fuck, it's a great transmission. Like, it still shifts fine, smooth. Engine runs smooth. Yeah, the power is great. Like, here we're at 3,000 RPM. I think we're in 3rd gear. We'll just barely roll on, and ooh, like, we'll catch right up to Laura. And that was like barely given any throttle to do that. What else can we talk about? The gauges, they're pretty classic, I'd say. Both analog, tach, speedometer, and then you got your digital fuel gauge, whatnot over there. Clock's way off. I think it's actually 1 p.m. right now. The fuel range. He did tell me that I'm pretty sure he said somewhere between 4 and 5 kilometers out of a tank. 400 or 500 kilometers out of a tank, which is very respectable, especially on a bike like this where you actually want to log on some miles all at once. Like, you're going to want to drive far and not have to stop and fuel up. So this is, yeah, that's what these bikes are meant for, right? This isn't a track day bike. Oh, we can talk about the clutch here. Hydraulic clutch. This is a nice pull. I have a cable clutch, and I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me. But when you're used to that, when you jump on a bike with a hydraulic clutch, you just feel it's just a beautiful, nice, smooth pull. I really do like the hydraulic clutches. You notice a difference. You really do. What else can we talk about? The lights, headlights. Yes, because on my bike at night, you pretty much have to leave your high beams on. They're brutal. Not so with this one. You can low beams you can see fine. High beams you can see much better, and they light the road up really well. So that is a huge bonus, especially if you want to go on a long cruise. You're not going to be home by dark, so you definitely want to make sure the lights light up the road. See all the little eyes in the ditches, looking for critters. Definitely a plus on this bike. What else can we talk about? The brakes, yes. The brakes. Initial grab. Let's see, we'll speed up a bit here. Like 120, 130. That was a decent pull on the brakes, and it dropped right down to 90. To be honest, I was just front brake too. I didn't even touch the rear. So, initial grab, you can feel it. This is a heavy bike, so you need good brakes to slow this thing down. What did he tell me? 650 pound motorcycle? That's heavy, man. So you need good brakes. I honestly can't tell you what they are. I don't know if they're Nissan or Brembo or generic Yamaha. Like I said, I'm not here to spit numbers at you. Here to tell you what my opinion of the bike is. But my opinion of the brakes, I would say adequate. They're not like, I've been on KTM, Super Duke, Brembos, you just barely touch the brakes and you're like, whoa, that thing stops you on a dime. Like, you have to really be careful not to grab too much brake. But this is, I would say, adequate. They're not horrible, definitely not horrible. They will stop you when you need to stop. But I would also say they're not like top of the line Brembos. Anybody out there that's tried top of the line Brembos would definitely know what I'm talking about. He's got the phone mount. Like aftermarket stuff on this bike, I don't know. That probably doesn't matter to you because it's not one, might not come on an FJR that you're looking at. But he's got the Ram foam mount on here. He's got Apollo something heated grips. There's like 5 stages to them. That button right there. Those are huge plus, man. These grips are awesome. Definitely a winner in my books. They're a little more on the pricey side, but it's one of those cases where you get what you pay for. What else has he got? Oh, this is a little switch down here. I've got it off right now, but you can turn it on, and what it does is goes, as soon as you hit the brakes, there's an extra light on the back that goes blink, 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 blink. I think it's an LED strip, and it just blinks to let the person behind you know that you're about to put on, or you're putting on your brakes. But your actual brake light also comes on at the same time. Excuse me. It's a nice little safety feature. Let's see, the mirrors. I don't know. It's hard. You can't really tell. Maybe you can. I'm sitting normally, and I don't have to suck my elbows in or nothing. I can see behind me just fine. So the mirrors are definitely a huge perk. Vroom, vroom. So, yeah, major complaint. Oh, wait, back to one other thing I want to talk about. The seat. It is factory seat on this bike. It's comfortable, yeah. I would say you can easily ride your 400 kilometers before your butt got sore and you needed a break. And well, this bike's got the one top case on. He also has the side panniers, which aren't on today. Don't really need them for this trip, so I left them at home. So luggage capacity in all 3 bags, you could easily pack a week's worth of junk in there and get away with it. Yeah, I think that's about all I can say about it. Suspension. Okay, heavy bike. This is part of the suspension. This gave me the idea. So the suspension. Having trouble with words today. The suspension. Got it out that time. The suspension is it soaks up the bumps really well, and also like when you're on tough lean angles going around curves and stuff, like you can still lean this thing over pretty decent. The pegs are closer to the ground than even Laura's bike. You can see, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, the pegs are closer to the ground than that, so you can't lean this bike right over because you will drag peg, or the side case before that even, I imagine. But it will lean over quite far, especially for a big bike. Like, it's still got some sporty feel to it, but on a really bumpy road, it kind of coasts over the bumps very well. And I think the last thing maybe we can talk about is the ergonomics. They're basic. I would say I've mentioned this before, I'm 6 foot, 220 pounds. Legroom, I'd say, is almost a little on the tight side. I think I have more legroom on my Z800. Handlebars are just a little bit away from me, so you're just slightly leaned forward. Probably about the same as my Z800, to be honest. Like in Sport Naked, actually Laura's bike is less leaned over than this bike. So like I actually have long arms for my height, I think, because I can never seem to find shirts that fit right. Cuffs always come up to here. So yeah, if you have short arms, yeah, I could see it being leaned forward slightly, but not a deal breaker. Overall, would I buy this bike? I would say no. I would say there's probably a better option out there for myself. But if you were interested in this bike and you were humming and hawing like, is it a good bike? Is it not a good bike? I can tell you right now, it is a good bike. Definitely a good bike. It's definitely, you wouldn't go wrong. Especially if you want to put on a large amount of miles. Like I said, this thing has 127,000 kilometers on it, and it still runs tip-top. That's impressive. It's 15 years old. Either somebody has taken really good care of this thing, or Yamaha just built a great motorcycle, which Yamaha is good at doing. So I give it a thumbs up. I just wouldn't buy it for myself. Well, if you had any questions about the FJR, I hope I was able to answer them. Let's be honest, not everybody out there is out there to buy a brand new bike. A lot of people buy used bikes. If you're looking at an FJR as a used bike, it's going to be a good bike for you. There's no doubt about that. If you have any other further questions, hit me up in the comments section. I could probably answer them for you. If you like the video, give me a little thumbs up. Click right down there. And on top of that, have fun, ride safe, and keep the shiny side up. Peace out. Talk to you later.